The following program is being brought to you on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericaempowerment.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
It's time to get your business in gear. Do you feel that sometimes you're in the right industry, but you're not attracting the right clients? Well, let's figure it out intimately with Tammeron is a 1-hour show presenting you with simple and basic tips to help you create a more intimate, fulfilling business and personal life. Now, here's your host, Tammeron.
Welcome to this fun-filled interactive hour with me, Tammeron. I've created this show to provide you, my listeners, with some of the top experts in the world who can help us all create more fun, passion, and intimacy back into our personal and professional lives. And after being an entrepreneur since I was 26 years old, raising my 2 children, volunteering in my community, and privately educating myself through online courses, books, and self-development seminars, I realized that I have a huge range of knowledge to share with you. And as a motivational business speaker, my passion is to share my intimate stories and allows me to work authentically with other people in their business. And I also realize that I attract people just like me who are a divine mirror of my life, entrepreneurs who are trying to find that healthy balance in their life, people who are visionaries, passionate, and highly sexual in nature. There are ups and downs to having all of this beautiful sexual energy that swirls around us. And we tend to be very creative, and we have a million ideas whipping around in our heads, and we love challenges. We want to work with other like-minded and be successful. But sometimes there are issues that come up. Things like we attract many people who want to work with us or just hang with us. And how do we manage ourselves and our time effectively? And how do we represent ourselves in business to show our true brand? And how do we work effectively with other entrepreneurs to create affiliates, joint ventures, or even partnerships? This seems to be a huge trend right now. So join me as I interview amazing guests, offer live business coaching, and give you an opportunity to hear what coaching is all about in business. Many entrepreneurs believe that their business is different than someone else's, and I agree with this statement. Yet I want everyone to understand that the reason why you are successful or not in your business is because of how you think and feel about yourself. Your business as an entrepreneur is about whom you believe yourself to be, and using this as the core of your business, I can teach and help anyone how to make their business better. So if you'd like to call in or ask questions, a number is always toll free at 1-888-346-9141. You can also email me at tammeron@figureitoutlive.com or hit the email host button here on my host page on voiceamerica.com. So for now, sit back and we enjoy as we learn how to become more intimate in your business to understand what is really going on and let this affect every aspect of your life. And this includes your personal relationships that become better too. And what a great way to live. So today I have no guest. Hopefully we'll get some people calling in. We get lots of people following on Facebook, and you just never know if they make it home here on time by 6 o'clock here in Eastern Time. So today's title is called Repeat, Repeat, Repeat. And the reason why I decided to use this title today is because I'm basically learning, and this is what I'm going to be sharing again with you guys today, is that very simple, small steps that we do in our business as entrepreneurs really do pay off. And sometimes we get so frustrated we don't feel like anything's happening, but we're creating momentum behind the scenes. And then one day, suddenly, it just seems like everybody seems to know who you are. And that's what's been happening in my life. And so as I love to share stories that are going on, simultaneously is what I love to talk about here on the show. So I'm going to talk about some different aspects, but again, I tend to attract people just like me who really want to make, speaking and networking as a big part of their business. So we are not talking so much about people with products unless you are going to be speaking about a specific product. But I tend to attract people like me who really are coaches, or they're entrepreneurs. They're people who genuinely want to help somebody else. And we tend to have a lot going on because as visionaries, we just have a lot of ideas whipping through in our heads, and so we have all these multiple ways we want to help people. And by doing that, we need to stay focused, and we need to really have a template. So again, a lot of people come to me with these ideas, and I can see that they're very scattered. So again, for today's show, I'm going to offer 10% off anyone who lets me know that they've listened to this radio show, whether you send me an email or you call in. 10% off any of my business workshop, which are on my website on tammeronsplace.com, and they are called I Am the Expert, Who Am I, and just my full 6-hour business intimacy workshop, which is a 6-hour program. It's both of the other programs put together plus an additional 2 hours where I really give you guys a really powerful template to use, and we actually go through it. So it's powerful information. Again, a lot of people share stuff with me, and so I thought I'm putting together these tips for you guys again today. So if you feel that networking and speaking is going to be a big part of your business, then I want you to listen up for the entire show today, or even record this or come back and listen to the recording, because there's going to be a lot of stories here and just simple things. And to be honest, literally, it's like you break through a wall and then all of a sudden, you're known, but you're going to be known for a very specific thing, and that is understanding and letting people know what it is that you do. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is, really plan where you're going. And a lot of people have ideas, a lot of these multiple ideas, but they don't have kind of like a big picture in mind. So, and I know because I struggle with this as well. So when someone says to me, where do you see yourself in 10 years? I used to find it really hard to answer that question. And also I still do. I find for someone like me who's so in the moment and really, is a goal setter and set these goals and then they get them done, it's hard to envision where you're going to be in 10 years. So for me, I like to work on maybe like a year or within 2 years. Even 5 years, to be honest, sounds a little bit outrageous for me because it just seems like it's so far away. So if you plan to have a goal set for a 1 year ahead of time, then you can break it down and you can really start into your template. So this is really how I like to work with people. Again, if you find that this is not for you, then there are other coaches that like to do this. In fact, my first who really was trying to get me to focus on a 5-year plan, and you know what? It just wasn't happening for me. So, I'm more than happy to refer clients to her. And we're going to talk about that a little bit in the show today as well. If you don't feel you can help someone, here is somebody else. All right. So you have this big picture in mind. And I find for myself as an entrepreneur, sometimes I just get a little bit too comfortable, working from home, because we can be on the phone, we can be on Facebook, we can be connecting with people, we can be running around, and all of a sudden we decide we're hungry, we're going to make something to eat, and before you know it, it's 5 o'clock, and you look at yourself and you've been busy all day, but you haven't accomplished anything. Because again, when you're a coach and when you're working with other people, it's not like you have a product in front of you or something where you can look at it at the end of the day and say, okay, I made so many of these things, and you have a plan that way. Because really what you're trying to do is to attract people that want to work with you. And so you really need to get out there and you need to start networking. One of the great things I find for entrepreneurs is Facebook. I know there's other networking social media avenues. Twitter is good. I don't know enough about Twitter, but for me personally, Facebook is full of online events, workshops, retreats, you name it. You start plunking in some keywords, and you're going to find that if you start adding yourself to some of these groups, you're going to find that there are other events that you can attend. So when you go to some of these events, and I've done this myself as well, I've been invited to all kinds of things, and I'll go out the first time and I look to see how many people are in similar situations for me. For example, I tend to work with people who are actual entrepreneurs, people that actually have a business. They might have a small business out of their house. They might be renting an office space somewhere or whatever, but it's a legitimate business where they literally have a space where they do work. And so with people like us, we have different stresses than someone, for example, who is a multi-level marketing company. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I do personally buy products from multi-level marketing products companies, but I do find as entrepreneurs, our stressors are different. Things like, we have employees, we have bills to pay, we have utilities to pay, we have usually some form of maintenance that we need to upkeep. And so I tend to attract people who are in similar situations as me. And so when I go to events, I like to connect with people who literally are that mirror of me. And so if I'm in an event where there's a whole bunch of people who are into multi-level marketing, or it's a very specific group, I actually find it very difficult to connect with these people because I don't know if they're willing to sit down and listen. Now, does that mean that no, it's not possible? Not at all. But I just have to make sure that, everybody has an open mind and we're all willing to work together. For example, I might be attending an event soon, which is full of multi-level marketing people. But again, to find those people in the room who are willing to work on their mind and their thoughts in order to enhance their business would be awesome. That would be the perfect person for me. Now, why am I sharing this? Because this is what you need to know when you're out there networking. Understand who is the type of person that you're hoping to attract or hoping to find at some of these events instead of just trying to grab anybody. Because to be honest, if you're just trying to grab anybody, then you're going to find nobody. It's better to be focused to understand who your ideal target market person is, because there's millions of those people. But if you're out there and you're just looking for anybody as somebody, I just don't see the magic happen. And it does take some time. I'm not saying don't start nowhere and have to know this all ahead of time. But if you really start understanding who you are, then you're going to find these people. And those people could quite possibly be in multi-level marketing companies too. But if you just take the time to understand that, then it can be quite beneficial for you. And so when you attend these events, then you can sort of see your expertise and start promoting your level of expertise. And you can start offering to speak at some of these events, because if there are bringing in other speakers or they give you an opportunity to talk about what it is that you do, you've got to be ready to get up and talk. And for a lot of people, this is one reason why they avoid going to things like this, is because they're afraid of getting up and speaking. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that after the first commercial break and into the next part of the show. So, you really got to get a handle on this, because you really got to overcome some of these fears about speaking. Speaking has definitely changed my life. Being on the radio is a form of speaking. That might be something you might want to consider, but it really does give you confidence, and it gives you an expertise in something as well. And so when you look like you're an expert, it gives you a huge amount of credibility. All right, so that's all I'm going to share with you guys right now. We're going to go to our first commercial break. When I get back, I'm going to share a little bit more with you. But I just want to remind you as well, if you do want to sign up for any of my business workshops and you've listened to this show, just let me know in your email or when you contact me, and I will offer that 10% off. All right, so it's our first commercial break, so stay tuned for more.
Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN.
Do you feel that you are in the right industry of serving others, yet you are not attracting as many clients as you would like? Magic happens when anyone brands their true self as the forefront of their business. I am currently looking for entrepreneurs who know they have a calling, yet feel as though something is missing. Yes, sometimes we're in our business every day that we can't see our own gifts and uniqueness, and that is where I come in. My gift as an entrepreneur is that I was struggling with the same issue, so I hired other business coaches to help me see what I couldn't. It was an enduring, difficult self-discovery, but it was well worth it. It catapulted me to capture my talents and use them to help other entrepreneurs. And here's how I can help you in a way that is so unique, authentic, and super fun. I am looking for guests to be live on my radio show who are willing to share what they feel is their biggest problem in their business. And I will help you figure out what is the core issue and catapult your business forward. Contact me, Tammeron, through my host page on Let's Figure It Out Intimately on the Empowerment Channel now.
Have you ever noticed that sometimes life just feels easier, especially when judgment of you or anyone else ceases to exist? What if you could function from that space all the time? What if gratitude is the key? Every time you are grateful for someone or something, a new universe opens up. What difference can you create in your life and the world from the energy, space, and consciousness of gratitude? Join us on Access Consciousness Presents Beyond Saying Thank You every Tuesday at 12 noon Pacific Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Your favorite Voice America Talk Radio Network shows and hosts are in your car, outdoors, and wherever you need them to be. Listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
You've tuned into Let's Figure It Out Intimately with your host, Tammeron. Want to be a guest live on her show? Email Tammeron at figureitoutlive.com. If you'd like to call into today's program, please call us at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. This is Tammeron, and I just want to remind you guys, if you want to follow me on Facebook, it's under Tammeron's Place. Same thing for Twitter as well, and you're more than welcome to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And all that information is available on my links here on my host page here. And just remember, if you do want to email me as well to get your 10% off on any of my business workshops after listening to this show, please let me know. You can click that host button here on the host page. It goes directly into my inbox. It doesn't go to the radio show. So I want to get back. I want to recap a little bit. I just want to remind you guys, two really powerful things to do as an entrepreneur is you've got to network and you've got to start speaking, especially when you're at these networking events. So I talked a lot about that in the first part of the show. So, and understand where it is you're networking. If you're going to events and you're finding it's just not a good fit, it just could be it's that simple. You're not going to the networking events that are attracting people that are similar to what it is that you do in your business or who your ideal target market actually is. And you need to understand this stuff. And this is what I teach you guys in my business intimacy workshops. Just looking for a client isn't going to do it. So understand who your client is. And the only way you can do that is to look at yourself, become more intimate with yourself, and to realize who it is you'd really enjoy working with. And when you know that, you will give yourself and you're going to feel a lot more comfortable in front of the people who you're around. And so it's going to be a lot for you to mark yourself. Okay, these are tools for entrepreneurs who are just getting out there, just starting in their business, or you could be changing up your business. All right, so it's a really tough world out there right now to be an entrepreneur, and more people are becoming one because that's just the way the world is changing, I believe, especially here in North America. So a lot of people are subcontracting, doing lots of different things, and so you've really got to get yourself out there. So the stuff I'm talking about today is really, really important. So what's one thing that is one small thing that's really going to get you out networking and speaking? You got to go out. You got to get out of the house. You got to go do something. And this is what I've struggled with myself, is like some days I'm just not motivated. I'd rather stay home and, pay the bills, do the paperwork, so on and so forth. And guess what? You don't get anything done. You don't get to meet people. People don't know what it is that you do. Even if you're leaving your business cards in places, you know what? People want to meet you. And if your picture's not on your business card, that's even tougher. One story I'll share here, I see this all the time, and I just don't understand. People like, for example, who are fitness trainers, or they're in, the health and wellness industry, which is the industry that I love to be in self-development. It's all kind of linked anyways. But I see a lot of people who are afraid to put their own photo on their business card or up on their website. I see people who are personal trainers who have worked years to really get their body the way they want it, like almost to the point of absolute perfection. And they go and they buy a photo of somebody else and they stick it on their website. I'm like, you know what? That just doesn't jive with me. If you're trying to sell yourself, put you on your website. Put you, especially if you love what you do and you're passionate about what it is you do. People are going to see it in your eyes. They're going to see that you do walk the talk. And I mean, what better way to sell anything about yourself is to sell yourself. And it just shocks me to see how people don't do this. It just, I don't know, especially people I see that are doing very well in their actual business as well, or whatever that industry is that they're in. So, okay, don't. Again, you've got to show that. So that's really powerful. If you don't know where to go, a lot of people say to me, well, I don't know where to start. I go on Facebook, I see stuff or whatever. Don't be afraid to call up some of these places. Find out if there's information. Check your local newspaper. A lot of the local newspapers, if you look, there's little tiny ads in the back of your paper. Again, a lot of this stuff is free or small groups where you don't have to pay a lot. Don't be afraid to call these people up and find out more about what it is that they do before you actually venture out, especially if you're on a tight budget. I get it. You might not have the gas, or you don't want to waste that much time not understanding. So a lot of people won't even make that call. And with cold calling, as an ex-private investigator, I'm going to share one of the simple things that worked for me. We used to have to do a lot of cold calling, talking to business owners, just setting up interviews, talking to people, corporations, like all kinds of stuff. And basically, not that you want to have a script, but if you do want to have in point form just a standard thing that you're going to say, write it down, type it out. The more often you say it, the easier it's going to get. And even by doing that, it's going to allow you to get more comfortable, but you might be able to throw in some lib there or whatever, and you don't have to read it word for word. But if you do have an elevator speech, or you do have something that describes who you are and what you do, and you want to get that down pat, memorize that, or actually write that out, because that's what I had to do when I decided I was changing up my business and changing up describing myself. It took me a while, because every time I was introduced to somebody new, I kind of said something different, because it can really, what you do can actually be a bigger umbrella. But if you want to be known for something very specific and bang on, and so it'll differentiate you, then you need to do this stuff. And I see so many people that don't do it, and so they don't know what they're saying. And to recap what I talked about before, they don't know who their target market is. So people just feel lost. They just feel like they're all over the place. So it's really, really important to do that. Again, if you really need some help with your elevator speech, listen to my videos. Go to my YouTube channel on my website, tammeronsplace.com. I've got videos about the workshops entitled Who Am I? And I Am the Expert. And really, we define things about you, maybe things about your childhood, teenage years, things that make you so different from anybody else that, pardon me, you can use this in your marketing. And when people know something personal about you, it opens doors. When people hear that I'm an ex-private investigator, I mean, people, they'll come and approach me just to find out about that. They'll ask me stories about that. Again, it's an entrance to something original, something that fascinates people. And that just opens the door for you. And then you can talk about what it is that you do. And there are skills that I learned as a private investigator that I'm still using now. So it's quite fascinating. In fact, I even called a supplier yesterday, and one of the first things he said to me, I haven't talked to this guy in a year. The first thing he said to me, he says, "Oh, do you still..." He says to me, you're an ex-private investigator. And I said, yeah. And he says, "Oh, I might need your skills. I need some help with something." So there you go, you know. And then he was willing to help me with something that I needed for a special order. So you know what? It's amazing if you just give a little bit of yourself to somebody and give them an opportunity to get to know you. It can really change things, and it could also open doorways for other people that they might like to introduce you to. All right. So it may not be that person standing in front of you. So don't ever be afraid to talk a little bit about yourself, okay? So when you get this done, when you get your elevator speech set up and you've sort of defined yourself a little bit, you know what I'm going to recommend? I recommend you stand in front of a mirror and you say it. I've done this. You know, I've stood there and, you know, how do I want to look? How do I want to present myself? And to prepare yourself, because the faster you understand it, that gives you more opportunity to talk about other things, because sometimes you only have a minute or two to really tell people what you do. All right. One of the next things I'm going to share is don't ever be afraid to approach someone and say to them, what do they really need support with in their business? Instead of you pitching what it is that you do when you sort of get your spiel out there, sit down and see, spend a couple of minutes with that person and say, like, what are you struggling with in your business right now? Or how do you need some support? And so it's a more gentler way to approach people. And if people are approached in that way, they're going to be honest and say, okay, this is what I'm struggling with. This is what I think I need. And then if you feel that you have a service or a product that can support them in their business or in their lifestyle, then use that as an opportunity. But you know what? There's one thing I don't like, and I've seen this a lot too, where someone says to me, oh, I can do that. And I go, but that's not what you sell. Oh, but I can do that. It doesn't, after this. And I go, you know what? When I see people doing that to me, I'm out of there. It's like they don't even know who they are. They just think they can solve all the problems. And I'm like, no, what defines you? What makes you so unique that I will need you? And so when people say, oh, I specifically do this, or yeah, I pretty much do this, yeah, I can do some other things, but this is what I'm really passionate about, then I know. And you know what? If that person is passionate, then I know I'm going to get the job done. So I'm willing to hire that person. So remember that when you're trying to sell yourself, because you know what? People will back away from that stuff. And it's just like, you know what? One person can't be somebody's everything. And I actually see a lot of coaches who literally, they will offer one thing to you and then they're following up a month later and they say, now I do this and now I do that and now I do. And I'm like, really? Well, I thought your specialty was this. So how come 6 months later now that you're doing something completely different? I just, you know what? It doesn't make them an expert in that. It just seems like, I don't know, maybe they're bored, or maybe what they were doing before didn't work or whatever. It's going to make people kind of question who you are, in that line of work. So again, watch out for stuff like this, because I know I don't like it. And so I would never want to sell myself that way either. So it's really important to really define yourself and to know what it is that you do. All right. So it's that time for our second commercial break. So I just want to remind you guys again, before I go for a break, let me know you've listened to the show and you're going to get 10% off any of my business courses. So that's either I'm the Expert, Who Am I, or my full 6-hour private business, full business intimacy program. All right. So just want to remind you, this is Tammeron, and you're listening to Let's Figure It Out Intimately here on the Empowerment Channel. So stay tuned for more after the break.
Have you friended us on Facebook yet?
Why not?
Just go to facebook.com/Voice America or search for the keywords Voice America. Once you are part of our Facebook network, you'll receive daily messages about what's happening with our shows, this week's featured guests, and new happenings at the Voice America Talk Radio Network. And you can add your voice to the always active discussions on our timeline. Just go to facebook.com/Voice America or search for Voice America.
Do you feel that you are in the right industry of serving others, yet you are not attracting as many clients as you would like? Magic happens when anyone brands their true self as the forefront of their business. I am currently looking for entrepreneurs who know they have a calling, yet feel as though something is missing. Yes, sometimes we're in our business every day that we can't see our own gifts and uniqueness, and that is where I come in. My gift as an entrepreneur is that I was struggling with the same issue, so I hired other business coaches to help me see what I couldn't. It was an enduring, difficult self-discovery, but it was well worth it. It catapulted me to capture my talents and use them to help other entrepreneurs. And here's how I can help you in a way that is so unique, authentic, and super fun. I am looking for guests to be live on my radio show who are willing to share what they feel is their biggest problem in their business. And I will help you figure out what is the core issue and catapult your business forward. Contact me, Tammeron, through my host page on Let's Figure It Out Intimately on the Empowerment Channel now.
You need to live up to your full potential. You've heard that for years, but now there's a channel to help you get there. Introducing the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Our listeners have told us that they want to be motivated, hear about success stories, and positive encouragement around the clock. And we've responded to you. The Voice America Empowerment Channel is the home of the world's top life coaches, entrepreneurs, and success experts. Listen to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's here at voiceamericaempowerment.com.
The future of online TV is here. View exclusive content from your favorite talk radio hosts and new programs that you can't see anywhere else. Visit voiceamerica.tv today.
You've tuned into Let's Figure It Out Intimately with your host, Tammeron. Want to be a guest live on her show? Email Tammeron at figureitoutlive.com. If you'd like to call into today's program, please call us at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. This is Tammeron, and you're listening to Let's Figure It Out Intimately. So again, just to remind you, if you want to follow me on Twitter under Tammeron's Place or on Facebook on my business page, that's where I'm at. So today, the title of the show is called Repeat, Repeat, Repeat. So these are the little things that you do as an entrepreneur when you're starting out or you're changing up something in your business that will eventually pay off. And it definitely did for me as well. So we're sharing some of that. As you guys know, sometimes I love to pull a card from my tarot deck, and I've got a few different ones. So today I really felt like I needed to pull a deck from T. Harv Eker, which is called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. So it's really good for entrepreneurs. So this is the card that I pulled specifically for the show. So anybody listening, this is what it says. It says, play the money game to win. So it says here, rich people play the money game to win. Their goal is to create massive wealth and abundance. And poor people play the money game to not lose. Their goal is survival and security. So that gives you something to think about. And I know there's been moments where, I've said to myself, if I just do this. And then I've realized that's just about survival. It's about getting the next step. So why not think bigger, all right? Which is kind of like what I was talking about at the beginning of the show is, know where you want to go. Like set some goals for yourself a little bit farther down the road. I know for someone like me, that was really hard to do initially. But, when you start doing that, you gain some momentum. And I'll do a quick share here too, because one of the things that I find that's given me the biggest momentum, and for a lot of people who personally know me and talk to me weekly and they get to see the difference is when you write down your goals, when you write down even the little steps in your goals, and I go through this with you in your business intimacy program. This is the extra 2 hours we talk about. We work one-on-one. When you type it out and you actually set it up like on a spreadsheet, and you see where it is that you're going, and you see where that momentum is coming from, it's fascinating, because you can look at your goal sheet and you can say, okay, I actually excelled on this goal, but I didn't get that goal. And then you can start saying to yourself, okay, well, am I focusing on that at all? Like, where is my energy? What am I focusing on so that I didn't reach that goal? Or you could be looking at it and saying, am I doing too much, Or is it time to delegate, to hire somebody and to help you reach those goals? Because when those goals get reached, the money comes in, and then you're able to offset that. So it really is amazing when you're focused. And there's a famous saying, what you focus on expands. So you got to really watch where your thoughts are going. I just love the stuff. Again, anything to do with the mind and our perception is really going to help you in business as well. So very, very fun. To get in touch with that. Again, it has to be fun for me. That's one of the things I talk about, even in my, behind the scenes when I look at some of my coaching stuff, is if I'm not having fun in my business, I don't want to do it. So yeah, it's about the people that are in the environment, the people I connect with. They got to be open-minded, lighthearted people, because if they're too serious while at work, or they're working with me, I'm out of there. It's just not my personality to be like that. Okay, so just want to share that. Okay, now, so to recap some of the things we've talked about already, we're talking about really getting focused on networking and speaking in your business if you're an entrepreneur. So talked about this in the beginning of the show. Know where it is that you want to network. If you're not finding that don't say networking just doesn't work. Find the networking groups of people that do work. Or even if you're in some of these networking events, don't be afraid to ask people, have you gone to something else? And what groups do you like better? Some people meet for breakfast. Some people meet in the evenings. Some people meet on specific days of the week. Some people, they like it because of where they meet, and who they're attracting. So it's quite interesting. So again, know who it is that you want to be hanging out with and who's going to support you in your business, because not only are you going to be helping others, you're going to need some help too. All right. So you're going to need other people to help you, because we don't know it all. That's why we need to find other people in our business. And that's one of the things that really helped me too. So with something like that, this is when you're going to be out there promoting yourself, when you've got that elevator speech figured out, you've practiced and you're a little bit more confident. Okay, so now you're out and you're talking to people and you're listening to what it is some of these people need and how you can support them in their business. And guess what? You might be standing there and you're listening to them and you're thinking to myself, I can't help this person. This is not somebody who's going to end up being my target client. So what do you do? I was saying a little bit about this before the last break. Don't stand there. This is just my opinion. Don't stand there and all of a sudden just tell the person, yep, you can help them with that, if this is not something that you're qualified to do. One of the best things and the best ways I've ever gotten referrals is because I had the guts to stand there and say to someone, I'm sorry, I really don't think I can help you. I really don't think that my services are a good fit for you. It's showing that I'm authentic and that honesty that's coming out of me. And I can say, but you know what? I either don't know someone who can help you, or maybe I do. And 9 times out of 10, when this does happen to me, and I really feel like I can't help that person, I actually do know somebody who can help them. And how I work in my business is I don't have big fancy affiliate programs on my website. I actually have a referral system that I honor, and I honor it from other people as well. So if someone refers me, I honor that 10%. So I've got room in my budget, in my prices, that if someone says, hey, you know what, Tammeron can really help you in your business, I'm going to pay that person 10%. For if I land the sale, I'll pay that person 10% of that first sale that I make with them. Again, it's creating It's creating a genuine friendship. It's creating a community of people, and people are willing to refer me. And also, it allows me to sort of say, well, I can refer somebody else, because to be honest, a lot of the people who I do refer, I'm also affiliated, or I've worked in a referral system with them too, where I said, I love what you do, and it could be very similar to what I do. Like, for example, working as a sexual intimacy lifestyle expert, what tends to happen is people think that I'm a sex coach. And the truth is, I'm not a sex coach. I do know a lot of sex coaches. I read a lot of books, because to me it's fascinating. It's a part of my history. It's a part of who I am, getting in touch with that creative side of myself and honoring it and expressing myself. As I'm 50 years old, by this stage in my life, I hope that I'm confident enough that I can talk about these things. But people assume that I know a lot of very specific things, or that I've studied things and I can help people with very physical issues. And the truth is, that's not my specialty. My specialty is helping people so that they become more intimate with themselves, and I basically give people permission to be themselves. So when you have permission to just be yourself, people relax, and then they want to know more about themselves. And yes, sometimes it becomes physical, but I help people emotionally and I help people mentally. And so when this happens, they might want to learn other things, and I honestly don't know. I'm not going to fake it and say I do know. And so I'm willing to find out for them. And sometimes people, they'll find something very specific, and because I love to learn and I love to study new things, I'll even say, if I don't know, I say I'm willing to find out, to find that person for you, because I usually can find it. And it doesn't take me long. Again, it's this PI in me. I love to solve problems. And so I'll go online and I'll say, well, I just Googled this or I Googled that. And people stand it and they go, well, how did you get the answer so fast? And I go, because I kind of looked at what you really need to understand in order to get the answer that you need. So again, it's quite fascinating. So I may not have gotten a sale, but I certainly showed that, this is exactly what I do, and I'm not afraid to say, I can't help someone, but you know what? I know that person's going to refer me, and people remember me for stuff like that. So again, it becomes a really good referral system, and it gives people an opportunity to really understand what it is that I do, because, they might have a different impression of what it is that I do when they hear a title like that. So it does give me a minute, even in my elevator speech, to teach people that, I allow them to become more intimate with themselves first, and that will enhance their business and their personal lives. And that sexual energy will get unleashed in people. So it's been happening all my life, and I just decided to give it a title. And so that's how I became the expert in it. People will share very intimate things with me that they've never shared before, and I never understood why. And I honestly don't know why, but I think one of the keys is that people actually feel very safe, and they know that if they do tell me something, that they can trust me. So I decided to own it. Again, this is what we talk about in the workshops that I do work with people about. I am the expert, and who am I? A lot of people have very genuine gifts, and they don't use it to promote themselves. And I really think that, if you're really someone who is wanting to live your purpose, like a lot of people are trying to find it now, or they call it passion, or whatever it is you want to call it, then the only way you're going to find it, I believe, is to look at yourself, because there's only one person who knows, and that is you. So it really, really is important for you to do that. And again, I've decided that all of my workshops, for my business programs, are one-on-one. They are no longer groups. I go to events and I speak about things. I speak in front of people. But in order to work with me, to really get the results that you want in 2 hours, it's one-on-one. All right. So, I just find I'm more effective. So again, that's what I realized, is that that's how I like to work with people. And you might be the complete opposite. You might like to work with large groups of people, and that's okay. So you know what? Then you've got to create a venue or a program or something where you can actually help these people. There's nothing worse than going to a live event where you feel like you're going to be spending a weekend somewhere learning something, and you walk out of there and you still don't know what you've done because you didn't get the attention that you needed. All right. So that's my spiel, and I'm sticking to it. So I am at my last commercial already. It always goes by so fast when I'm here by myself. It just blows my mind. So remember, this is Tammeron, and you're listening to Let's Figure It Out Intimately here on Voice America. So stay tuned for more after the break.
The future of online TV is here. View exclusive content from your favorite talk radio hosts and new programs that you can't see anywhere else. Visit voiceamerica.tv today.
When you make decisions, do you ever find yourself in doubt? Are you trying to figure out what's right with you? Are you ready to truly change your life? Listen for the Access Consciousness radio show with the founders of Access Consciousness, Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane Here. Consciousness is all about including everything and judging nothing. Our program will help you break free from your personal limitations and enhance positive change in all areas of your life. Tune in to Access Consciousness, Thursdays at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on Voice America Empowerment.
Do you feel that you are in the right industry of serving others, yet you are not attracting as many clients as you would like? Magic happens when anyone brands their true self as the forefront of their business. I am currently looking for entrepreneurs who know they have a calling, yet feel as though something is missing. Yes, sometimes we're in our business every day that we can't see our own gifts and uniqueness, and that is where I come in. My gift as an entrepreneur is that I was struggling with the same issue, so I hired other business coaches to help me see what I couldn't. It was an enduring, difficult self-discovery, but it was well worth it. It catapulted me to capture my talents and use them to help other entrepreneurs. And here's how I can help you in a way that is so unique, authentic, and super fun. I am looking for guests to be live on my radio show who are willing to share what they feel is their biggest problem in their business. And I will help you figure out what is the core issue and catapult your business forward. Contact me, Tammeron, through my host page on Let's Figure It Out Intimately on the Empowerment Channel now.
Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN.
You've tuned into Let's Figure It Out Intimately with your host, Tammeron. Want to be a guest live on her show? Email Tammeron at figureitoutlive.com. If you'd like to call into today's program, please call us at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. This is Tammeron, and you're listening to Let's Figure It Out Intimately here on the Empowerment Channel. So today's show title is called Repeat, Repeat, Repeat. Sometimes I feel like that's what I do on the radio, but hey, that's what you got to do, because you can't assume that people are listening the whole time. They could be jumping in on the call. So but that's one thing I learned about radio, is that sometimes you just got to say things a few times. So on that note, I'm just going to remind you guys, if you are listening to this show, you're interested in any of my business programs, which are one-on-one, I'll give you 10% off if you let me know that you found out about it through the radio show. So remember to go to my website, tammeronsplace.com, check on the events workshop pages, and you'll see lots of great detail on what you're going to get in some of those business workshops. All right, so I'm going to recap a little bit, talked a lot today about, okay, what are some of the tools that you're going to need so that you can get out there and network and speak as well. And these are the little steps that if you keep doing it, it does pay off. I know for me, today I was looking at some stuff on Facebook for a few minutes. It's been a crazy day, but I had a few minutes, and I realized how many people I've actually met from going to a certain event just once or twice a month for the last 6 months. And every time I went, I met, a ton of people, or people found out about me and contacted me through Facebook. I've wound up on TV. I've had articles written about me. I have wound up speaking. I've been referred to other people. Just a lot of amazing things have happened for me in the last 6 months. But again, my intuition was, this is great group of people that I want to network with, because I was going to different networking groups before and I just didn't find that I was connecting with the people. So I decided to do something completely different. My gut said, let me check it out. And actually, believe it or not, I found out about it through Facebook. Somebody messaged me to go to an event. It was a woman who I'd never met before. She did invite me to a couple of things on Facebook before, and she had commented on my page, and I didn't know anything about her. And then one day she just sent me an invite to something, and I thought this would be really interesting, and off I went by myself. I very rarely phone other entrepreneurs or friends that I know to go and attend things with me. It's just one of my strengths. I go by myself, and I just find by being that vulnerable and allowing myself or forcing myself to talk to other people is a way for me to just get out there. So it works. And so in something like that, I've met a lot of people, and I've had people actually worked with me privately, done all kinds of stuff, given me some great referrals as well. And I've even bartered quite a bit with some of these people in this group. So it's been a great opportunity. If you do want to check it out, again, it is a speaking event. I've even had some of the people on this radio show that I've interviewed. It's called Mo Mondays. So if you are in North America, check it out. See if there's a Mo Mondays group near you. MoMondays.com is their website. It's a great way to connect with people. Everybody is very heart-centered. A lot of energy workers, light workers, a lot of people like that tend to be in the room. So you will definitely have a great time if you go to one of their events, and you get to hear people talk and share their story for the hour and a half or sometimes 2 hours. So yeah, great group of people. Always a good time. I can't say anything bad about that group. So it's always on a Monday, if you can guess. Mo Mondays. Started here in Toronto, Ontario. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is writing. And a lot of people, will say, get blogging, write articles, do something. And to be honest, I have found a lot of things if I've just Googled something, and I usually wind up on somebody's blog. And I've, signed up for newsletters and that kind of stuff. So it's great if it's someone that you love to read their stuff. And for me, when someone told me to do this, right away, my initial reaction was no. And people said to me, well, you got to do it. And I said, but you don't understand. I'm not very good at writing. So if you do follow me on my personal Facebook page, which is Tammeron Karam, that is where I post all my own personal comments. And I am not one to worry about grammar, because I have horrible grammar. I have horrible writing skills. So if it bothers you that I have horrific grammar skills, then don't follow me on Facebook on my personal page. Go to my business page, Tammeron's Place, because that's basically my assistant who's asking me what to post. And so we've agreed on what she's going to write for me. Again, this is not my strength. Putting together sentences and paragraphs is not my strength. So I've had to hire people to do that for me. So don't let the fact that you don't know how to do something stop you from doing something in your business. We're too busy trying to do it all as entrepreneurs. And so, if this is a key aspect, something that's really lacking in your marketing aspect of your business, get on it, hire a student. That's what I did. These kids need the jobs. It's a great experience for them. And it's getting to the point now where my actual assistant writes better stuff than me. I said to her, it's actually getting better. So I can't wait to see what she's going to write. All right. So get on that. And the last thing I want to talk about is if you feel like stuff is just not working, like I said, join different events, go to different places, but don't ever, ever, ever give up. Okay, because I see a lot of people just getting so frustrated, and so they just give up altogether. And then one thing leads to another, and then they've given up on their business. So, I hate to see that. And even for me, I've gone through different changes in my business. A lot of people say to me, you're always changing. I go, well, I think it's because I'm changing and I'm learning more about myself, and I just tend to be going with the flow. But I'm not someone who gives up. One of my kids made a comment a year ago, and I, decided I was going to do something in my business. And my oldest son looked at me and he said, I can't believe that you just said that. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, Mom, you're always tell people not to give up. Why are you giving up? And I said, well, maybe I am. So I was glad he said that to me. And so what I realized was I didn't need to give up. I just needed to change the way I was doing something. And it was a very profound thing that I did. And lo and behold, when I did just make a minor change in my business, a lot of other ideas started coming and the magic really started to happen. So again, if you're struggling, I'm going to encourage you, hire a business coach. Even if you have to barter with someone. I haven't always been able to afford the coaches, and I bet there's something in there you can barter. All right. So, don't ever give up. If you do need some advice, again, I always offer a free 15-minute consultation call with anyone. So if you're finding that maybe you think you need something, or you just don't know where to start, or who some of these coaches are, or even where to begin, I encourage you, go to my website, tammeronsplace.com, and book yourself for that free 15-minute consultation call, and let me see if I can just help you. Again, that's my way of just offering something for people for free, and maybe it leads to something more, or it leads to somebody else who I think can help you. All right. Again, I am in the service of helping other people as well. So it's all just part and parcel of what it is that I do. So I just want to remind you guys again, if you have felt inspired to check out or want to know more about any of my business workshops, they are personal one-on-one via Skype or in person, 2 hours at a time, or the full business intimacy workshop is 6 hours. So check it out. We break it up, and I'll offer you 10% if I know that you have found out about it through listening to this radio show. So again, it's that time. It always goes by so fast. So I just want to say thank you for taking that time out of your day to spend it with me. I hope you've resonated or in some way, or you feel compelled to listen again to the recorded version or share this show with your friends. Always remember that my life is the same as yours. I'm not perfect, but I just love to share my stories of challenges. I genuinely want us all to become successful so we can live happier and more fulfilling lifestyles. And it requires some courage, some communication, and most of all, some fun. No matter what we need or feel we need, I believe it can be accomplished in a comfortable, relaxing, and safe place, just like right here. So remember, come back next week for another great show with me, Tammeron, on Let's Figure It Out Intimately. So cheers for now.
Thank you again for listening to Let's Figure It Out Intimately. Please join Tammeron again next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Let's figure it out intimately. Again.